Need to get stronger.
Anthony Joshua has just started his new training camp ahead of his fight with Jake Paul. Tyson Fury responded to Jake Paul's call-out, saying he views it as a genuine 50-50 fight where either man could win.
Do you regret the Joshua fight not happening?
No, I don't. I don't regret anything. Life's too short for regrets.
What do you think of Jake Paul calling him out?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight.
Jose Benda said people should not dismiss Jake Paul because the fight is risky for him and could even lead to an unexpected outcome. He also said Anthony Joshua is performing at a higher level right now and has a clear size edge over Paul.
Don't count him out. You know, I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have a big upset, you know. But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and you know he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, you know. But I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out. I mean, or AJ could take Jake Paul. Maybe, you know. But I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting fight. I think I want to see that fight, to be honest with you.
David Haye said he respects Jake Paul for stepping into real danger because boxing can be brutal and cause serious injuries or even worse. He added that Paul took this risk on a big stage because he believes in himself and not for money.
I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you got to give him credit.
Dana White said Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua is a bad matchup, but would still attract a massive audience. He explained that many people would watch just to see what happens, including him, and fans would finally get the result they have been waiting for.
Jake Paul, Joshua. Oh, Jesus. That's a f***ing bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what, a lot of people will watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Tommy Fury said that since he was able to beat Jake Paul, it's obvious what Anthony Joshua would do. He mentioned his father once joked that Joshua would deal with Paul without any trouble and agreed, saying that even with a hurt arm, Joshua would end the fight in under a minute.
Well, if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. He can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous. It really is.
Tony Bello said he does not believe any talk about the fight until he actually sees Jake Paul in the ring. He added that even if they stood together at a press event, he still would not be convinced because he cannot picture Paul putting on 10-ounce gloves to face Anthony Joshua.
I don't believe it. I don't believe a single thing until I see him in the ring. I don't believe any. Even if they come together for a press, I don't believe it. I don't genuinely believe he will climb into a boxing ring with 10-ounce gloves on with Anthony Joshua. It won't happen. It can't.
Hypothetically, if it does, how long does it last?
As long as Josh wants it to. Simple as that. As long as he wants it to. The same way it did with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. The same way it did with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou.
Frank Warren said Jake Paul has taken a lot of criticism for having no amateur career and only around 10 to 12 fights. He added that people kept asking when he would face a serious opponent, and now he has finally done that well.
Well, my thoughts on it is that Jake Paul's had a lot of accusations over the years for a guy who's had no amateur fights. What's he had, about 10 or 12 fights? I'm not sure what he's had. And, you know, you look at the opposition he's had and people saying, when's he going to fight somebody? He stepped up. He's stepping up to a two-time world champion, a genuine heavyweight, a proper heavyweight champion, and an active fighter. And this is a big moment for him. And you've got to take your hat off to him for that. As regarding AJ, I'm sure AJ's wants a fight back after that, that unbelievable loss he had against Daniel Dubois, which is quite an emphatic loss. He wants to come back, get himself, dip his toe in the water. He's going to get paid a lot of money for this. This fight's going to generate a lot of money because for me, it's a fighter. Jake Paul's going to be a massive underdog against a big favourite, a big odds-on favourite. Can he do it or not? This is a car crash, and people will watch it because that's what people do at car crashes. That's what this is.
Frank Warren said Jake Paul has faced lots of criticism for having no amateur run and only about 10 to 12 fights. He said people kept asking when Paul would take on a real challenger, and now he has finally done that well.
I'm going to say it for you. Okay?
Done. No,
if
please,
Jake
done.
Paul
No.
beats Anthony Joshua by a knockout, this is a million times better than what I always have thought was a very ill-conceived event with Tank Davis. So whatever you think about Jake and some of the types of fights that he has made, you got to give him credit for at least everybody has said for a long time now, fight a real fighter, fight a real boxer. Well, Anthony Joshua was absolutely a real boxer, a real fighter. You can't deny that. Like you said, two-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist. Now, he may not be at what he was when he was absolute peak. There's no doubt that Anthony Joshua was beyond his apex of his career. Mm-hmm. But even though he'll be coming off of about a 14-month layoff.
Yeah.
He's coming off having had surgery on his elbow. He's coming off of a very, very, very difficult, brutal, hard knockout loss in the Dubois fight. But all that said, I still think he's got enough to compete with any heavyweight in the world. For my perspective is, whatever you think about it, Jake Paul certainly has gotten better since he fought Tommy Fury. He's certainly gotten better over the last number of fights. Now, is he at an elite, world-class level? Probably not yet. He may never get to that level, but so you got to give him props. He's taken on a guy that I spend part of my morning talking to different boxing matchmakers, people I've known for decades in this business, who have vast experience of building fighters and moving fighters and developing them, and they know a lot better than you or me what they're looking at. And to a person, they were like, they don't understand why Jake took this fight because they think it's, one person used the word of decapitation.
Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on the possible Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight. He said Jake seems to really want it and has even agreed to a deal where Joshua would get 99% of the purse and Paul would take only 1%.
They're talking right now about doing Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul.
I know, I saw that.
Jake Paul apparently wants that fight. And he agreed to, I think it was 99% to 1, where Joshua gets 99% of the money and he gets 1%.
Jake Paul probably doesn't care about the money.
Well,
but
he has plenty of money, and if he won, oh my God, if he beat Anthony Joshua, good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, that's a big if. Right? Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, good Lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. That fight's not competitive at all.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists ever.
Yeah.
That's all for today's video. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it.